Let's talk, though, about what's been happening over in the Middle East. Over 1,100 people have died in this weekend's fighting between Israel and the Islamist terrorist group Hamas. Israel's defence minister has ordered a complete siege on the Gaza Strip as the US sends warships and fighter jets to support Israeli forces. We're going to speak now to former Republican congressman, former presidential candidate as well, Mr. Joe Walsh. Joe, a very good morning to you.
Michael, good to be with you, my friend.
Really good to see you. Shocking pictures that we saw over the course of the weekend, images of innocent people, children, women, families being targeted by Hamas. I mean, it just doesn't bear thinking about. The biggest ever, as far as in my lifetime goes, I think, incursion into Israel by over 1,000 militant terrorists from Hamas, probably funded by Iran, probably helped by Hezbollah, probably helped by Qatar as well. I mean, what are we going to do?
Michael, this must be a game changer, period. Hamas is evil. Israel is good. And look, Hamas can be no more, period. They're animals, they're savages, they're terrorists. This terrorist organization that rules the Gaza Strip must be eliminated. They can be no more. And Michael, look, I think Israel made a huge mistake back in 2005 when they disengaged and left the Gaza Strip. It has been used as a base of terror against Israel for the past 18 years. Israel has got to take Gaza back.
So in what sense do you mean that, though? Do they send troops in? Do they physically grab it back? Do they let the people who live there leave? What do they do about that?
Well, I think they go in and I think they eliminate Hamas. I think they do as good as they can, Michael, to protect Palestinian civilians, and then they take over and control and manage Gaza. The Palestinian people, Michael, who live in Gaza would be much better under Israeli control. They're being used. They're being purposely killed right now by Hamas. Everything happening to the Palestinians in Gaza right now is because of Hamas. Hamas doesn't care about them. Life has been miserable for them for the past 18 years. Israel will improve that.
And what do you make, by the way, of the way that the world has reacted? Because we've seen in this country pro-Palestinian demonstrations. Apparently there was one on Sunday in New York City as well. We've seen other, sort of communities, shall we say, around Europe celebrating this Hamas victory. I mean, it's beggars belief. I can't believe that there's anyone in this world who would congratulate somebody for stripping a woman naked, putting her on the back of a pickup truck dead, and then spitting on her just because she happened to be an Israeli citizen. I mean, I find it absolutely staggering. But we've got migrant camps here in Europe where people were cheering on Hamas. You know, we've got a very troubled world here, Joe, it seems to me.
We do. And look, Michael, the world is a hell of a lot more black and white than people think. There is good and there is evil. Putin is evil. Ukraine is good. Iran, the ruling regime of Iran is evil. The United Kingdom and America are good. Israel is good. Hamas is evil. I think the world changed big time 2 days ago, Michael, and we're not going back. People who do not support Israel's right to exist, there's going to be a confrontation now like we've never seen with these people.
Yeah. I mean, there are those who would disagree fundamentally with everything you've just said, Joe. I'm not necessarily one of them, but, you know, to say that Russia's good and Ukraine is bad is a bit of an oversimplification, isn't it?
Well, hold on, Michael, but remember, I said Putin is evil.
Yeah.
I purposely didn't say Russia. Right. The ruling regime of Iran is evil, not the Iranian people.
Right. There's no doubt as well, there's a piece in the Wall Street Journal today which says basically there's no doubt that both Hamas and Hezbollah were involved in this, but it was very much as a result of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard from Iran that this attack was made possible. The money that they got was from Iran. We know that there were several meetings, many of them held in Beirut. There may have even been a couple in Qatar. I mean, the Americans could play a massive role here, but Joe Biden, is now being blamed for giving $6 billion away to the Iranian regime in a massive error of judgment.
Well, that's a bunch of bullcrap. Iran doesn't have $6 billion yet. They don't even have their hands on that yet. Michael, that's a bunch of bull that my former Republican friends are putting out there. Look,
So has he not lifted the sanctions then?
You're completely agree with that. Completely agree with that. And Biden's going to have to be a hell of a lot tougher on Iran. Let's understand. I think we agree, Michael. This has been months and months and months in the planning, this terrorist attack. And I believe Iran did this and had Hamas do this because of the way Israel and the rest of the Arab world have been normalizing relationships. I don't like Trump, Michael, you do, but Trump began that, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And Biden has continued it with Saudi Arabia. I think this is what Iran and Hamas are pushing back against because they don't want the Arab world to have relations with Israel.
Well, sources I've been speaking to in the Middle East say that basically this whole attack was designed to blow up that peace deal, those talks that were going on between the Saudis and Israel, because Iran doesn't want to be left to be completely and utterly isolated. But you're right to say that Trump started these manoeuvrings, he started these talks. I wonder, though, whether others will believe that if he was still in charge, this wouldn't have happened.
Oh, no, yes. Yes, it would have.
Which is it?
It would have happened, Michael. Look, this day was coming no matter who the American president is. The Arab world, the Muslim world, has been using and abusing the Palestinian people in Gaza for years. Their entire point is to blame Israel. They don't care. Hamas doesn't kill that Palestinians are being killed right now. Hamas wants Palestinians killed because they want to rally that evil, ugly world against Israel. This was going to happen no matter what. And we need to stand strong against it.
But what do you make, though, of these expressions of pride in what's happened in New York and in London and in Manchester and in other parts of Europe? You know, these people demonstrating, because we now have a country, and you do, I guess, as well, which is full of communities, you know? And obviously, we're not going to pretend to say that every Muslim community is in support of what Hamas did. But there's a sizable number of people who seem to want to wave the Palestinian flag, who want to say that this was a Palestinian action, not a Hamas action, and they want to live in the United States of America and the United Kingdom and enjoy all of the freedoms that gives them. And yet, they are, I think, easy to be described as enemies of the state, aren't they?
Well, right. But again, we believe in freedom like you believe in freedom, and they have a right to protest and support Hamas all they want. But understand they're supporting evil. And Michael, these people, all these crazy people protesting in New York City, literally supporting what happened 2 days ago, celebrating it. Those are the people who, if they were in Gaza right now, Michael, they wouldn't be surviving. Right. Hamas would let them die. They're messed up, they're misguided, and their hatred for Israel, Michael, is just visceral.
Yeah.
I mean, visceral. We see anti-Semitism on the far left and the far right. This is a dangerous thing.
Exactly right. But so therefore, you know, maybe these people should go and live somewhere else. If they don't want to be on the side of good, if they don't want to be on the side of America or the side of the UK or the side of NATO or the side of Israel, you know, maybe they need to go back and live in the Gaza Strip or wherever it is they came from.
Amen. It's really easy for them to protest in the United Kingdom or America because we let them. The countries and the evil that they support would never let them protest. If they were lesbian or gay, they'd be killed. But yet they still support these regimes. They're misguided and messed up.
They really are. I don't know what your view is of Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, AOC as she's known, but her squad is apparently calling for a ceasefire. She's been attacked for saying that. Is a ceasefire the way forward or not?
Anyone calling for a ceasefire right now, Michael, is no friend of Israel's. This was Israel's 9/11. Was anybody calling for America to cease fire after we were hit on 9/11? Look, there is an element of the left in America that is anti-Semitic. The Squad, some of these far-left members of Congress put out statements that couldn't even condemn what Hamas did. This is dangerous.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous, and it's absolutely shameful, in my view, that we saw what I could consider to be some of the worst. I mean, I covered the war in Bosnia, which was pretty horrible. But what was going on over the weekend, where you saw videos of little boys being pushed and shoved and smacked in the face and being called Jew and all sorts of things. And as I said earlier, the videos of naked, dead women on the back of pickup trucks being spat on. I mean, I've never seen anything like that.
Butchery, animals, savages, Michael. I'll tell you what, though, this is a game changer. Democrats in America who are left of center, who don't openly show their support for Israel like people like me do, they are right now. And they're pissed off and they're angry. I just think the world is going to rally to Israel's side like we've never, ever seen before.
Right.
And Israel's going to do things, Michael, they've never done before to stop
of course,
this.
One of the other things that people have said, and I don't wish to be part of, in any way blaming Israel for being unprepared, but, this was a massive manoeuvre, 1,000 people coming over the border. There were seemingly no defences in that part of the country, despite being right next to Gaza. Should American intelligence have been better, and
Yes.
should Israeli intelligence have been better?
We all screwed up. A massive failure, a governmental failure in Israel, and to the point where the government should resign. Not now, because right now it's all about fighting back. But this is a failure, Michael, at a level we've never seen. We haven't seen for 50 years in Israel. Our intelligence failed. I think Israel, with their intelligence, especially when it comes to Gaza, got fat and lazy, and they put their eyes elsewhere, and they just sort of took for granted that Hamas isn't capable of this. They really messed up, and they let their people down.
And what about the guy who runs Hamas living in Qatar? He's protected by the Qataris. We know that there are certain emirates and countries in that part of the world which have places to hide for the Taliban. They have a Taliban office, I think, in Qatar as well. Is there any hope, or is there anything that the US government can do, President Biden can do, to go after these people?
Have to. Again, Michael, I lead with Hamas needs to be completely eliminated. I mean, no more. And so Hamas leaders in every other country need to be sought down, grabbed, and killed, period. So, yes, I am expecting and hoping that Biden and the United States and all of our allies now are going to put pressure on these other Arab countries. This is the time for choosing now. You either help us or there's going to be a price to pay, an economic price to pay.
Joe Walsh, thank you very much indeed for talking to us. Joe Walsh there in
Thanks,
the United
Michael.
States of America. Thanks a lot. America must act, says Joe.